Hello, everybody. This is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the FiredUp Network. Welcome to Beyond the Score, a special edition of Beyond the Score for Monday evening, April 3rd. We're going to begin today's show with my good, close personal friend, Alan Small. He's a senior advisor who will talk about the WWE and the parent company of the UFC Endeavor merging to have one big sports conglomerate. Then we'll be joined by the Hall of Famer of OSG Sports in Atlanta, John Freeman Nelson, to discuss the NCAA Final Four or tournament final tonight. And then Martina Barnett makes her return to the Fired Up Network to discuss WrestleMania. We give a small Raw preview and everything. We got an hour and a half. Let's get to it. Here is Alan Small. Hello, everybody. This is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to a special edition of the Sports Wrap. And I had to bring in my senior advisor. Yes, my senior advisor. I don't know what, like a rookie advisor, but he's my senior advisor, Alan Small. Check him out. He's on CFRB 1010. Where are you? Your Facebook, your LinkedIn. You're all over the place. I'm looking at you. Are you going to bring the energy that you bring on your show here?
I always bring the energy, Joe. Always.
Always. All right. So you got a little bit of shekels there. The WWE and UFC have formed a partnership. The group Endeavor, who owns UFC, are now owning the WWE. They're going to make it a conglomerate of $21.4 billion together. They bought WWE for $9.3 billion, a little less than what I pay you here. How do you think it's going to affect the stock rate? And is, in your opinion, I know you're not really a wrestling fan, but everybody knows UFC, WWE. How do you think the model is going to affect here?
Good question. I don't know how the model of the business itself will be affected. Obviously, when you look at these big numbers, I'm surprised to hear that the actual purchase price was that high. I know McMahon wanted a price in and around 9 billion, ended up getting it slightly more than that. So saw an interview with him recently where he spoke about how he thought his business was valued that high. Obviously, he took a step back a little while ago with some accusations about him and some of the stuff that came out, some hush money that he paid out a little while ago. So he took a step back, came back to WWE not too long ago, and here he is making a big deal, evaluating the business, the family business that I guess his father started many years ago, over $9 billion. What a success story, to be honest with you. And kudos to him. He did a great job in negotiating, and apparently he's going to stay on too. So that's good for him.
He purchased from his dad for $1 million, and he sold it for 9.3 billion, and he stays on, and he will have a little bit of say, only like major say. So this is a win for Vince McMahon.
For sure, he stays on. He's gonna run, like you said, the high level stuff at WWE. He's going to not get involved in the day to day. He said so. He's getting up there. I saw an interview with him. Looks a lot older than the pictures that you see of him.
What do you think about his mustache?
I was gonna say I love his mustache. His new little mustache there. He looks French. The little French mustache there. But anyways, overall, I think he a great deal for them. Hopefully, the acquirer. I don't know much about their business. Obviously, UFC. They own UFC as well. So Dana White taking care of UFC, McMahon taking care of WWE, and the holding company or the parent company that holds both will take a step back and hopefully watch a lot of success going forward.
And the name of the company will be revealed in a week or two. Also, they're going to be in New York Stock Exchange probably 3-4 months. Uh, will you purchase? You're a guy who purchase anything here. Do you think it's going to go up, like the stock rate or whatever, or do you think it will plateau where it is right now? Because these two, for sports entertainment, okay, you got one who really is sports and making millions and billions of dollars, one who portrays that they're sports, but they're entertainment. They're just coming off WrestleMania. Over 161,000 people at SoFi Stadium during the last 2 nights. Wrestling, they always say, and I've been around here for 30 years, 40 years with wrestling. Oh, it's going to die. It's going to die. I'll tell you right now, wrestling will not die. UFC may die before wrestling does.
And can you imagine, though? I also heard that they're trying to actually allow betting, gambling in
Yes.
wrestling. If they allow that, imagine. I
Well,
don't
I'm
know
taking
how.
over your office if they allow that. All right, I take over your office if they allow that. But no, honestly, and that's another thing that I wanted to talk to you. Good segue here, because wrestling is predetermined. There's a couple sources that I have that bank on. You know, here's the winners and losers. I could tell you what's going to happen on Raw already and everything like that. So, are they going to be more tight-lipped if there's more betting on it?
It would have to be, but then there's always the case of if a lot of money is won wherever it is, Vegas or wherever, there's going to always be speculation that maybe the winners got out of the bag, if you will. So I don't know how you can bet on predetermined or prefixed winners. They already decide who's going to win before the match even starts. So I think that's what's keeping betting or gambling on wrestling matches in check. But if it ever does come out, I think that'll just be even bigger for WWE and the new company, the new merged company.
So, in your circles, is there a lot of talk about this? Is in sports. This is a major, major, major acquisition. In your circles that you deal with, billions of companies, billions of dollars, free flowing, the banks, everything like. Has there been any talk of this?
There has been, as I said, I saw an interview with Vince McMahon this morning.
Yes.
So I've definitely made the business shows, CNBC, etc. I don't know. I haven't really spoken to any investors yet with respect to wanting to own shares of the new company. It might be too early yet, but it could be something down the road that if it is hyped and it is marketed appropriately or very well, that the combined entity could be is something that people want to own. So we'll have to stay tuned for that.
What's interesting, and the final question here, what's interesting is there going to be cross promotion now or cross fights with WWE wrestlers, because some WWE wrestlers like Brock Lesnar came, wrestled, went to the UFC, captured the UFC title. Is there going to be cross promotion there? And are they going to make it a real wrestle UFC mania once a year? That's the big question here.
Yeah, I would say yes. Why not? I thought about that when I was listening to the interview with McMahon. To cross promote, bring some wrestling stars into UFC and vice versa. Obviously, the UFC stars would have to take it a little easy on the runners, but or maybe vice versa. Who knows, right? But yeah, I think there definitely will be cross promotion, stars from one going to the other, and they'll probably hype it up quite nicely and make it a big hoopla. Again, it's all in the marketing. It's all in how they present this new business and this new sports and entertainment business.
Now, okay, so I got to ask you this. You're a big Maple Leaf fan. We're 10 days away from the playoffs. I don't know if you know this, but we're playing Tampa in the first round, okay? I don't know if you know that, right? Okay. Do you think this is the year? This is the year 2023 that we break the streak from 2004 and win a round. Win 4 games. I don't care about the second round. I do not care about the second round. But let's see, Matt Murray, we still don't know because they skated into him, and Cujo was the emergency backup. Right now, I will tell you right now, Cujo should be the starting goaltender for the Maple Leafs right now. Don't you agree?
I would love to see Cujo, but so my heart would say I hope they get by the first round. My head will say not a chance until it actually happens. I cannot, as a diehard fan, I cannot put myself out there, expose my feelings to the disappointment of losing again for the 19th year or whatever it'll be in a row. So I can't say yes. I've been hurt too many times. This is a protection, a defense mechanism. I cannot say they're going to make it past the first round. If they do, I'm running up and down Young Street with my shirt off.
Wait a minute. If they win one round, you're running up and down youngsters. First
That
of
would
all,
be
keep your shirt on. First of all, keep your shirt on. Run up and down Young Street when they win a round. Fine. 2 rounds, better. 3 rounds, we're without no pants. You scare everybody. All right. But honestly, okay, let's say they beat, because Tampa's been struggling. Let's say they beat Tampa. Is there any chance that they could beat Boston?
I would say the only team I think that the team with the best chance to beat Boston is us, is Toronto. Because if you see the way they played them in the regular season, everybody else seems to play scared when they play Boston. I think Toronto can match up with them again. Do I think they can beat them in a 7-game series? I don't know. Usually, and you know this. Usually, the President's Cup trophy winner is not the Stanley Cup winner. So that means that somebody's going to take them out. Maybe Pittsburgh or the Islanders will take them out in the first round. I don't know, but or maybe even Florida if they sneak in. So we'll see. But let's just take one game at a time. I'm gonna have to sit there hugging a pillow for who knows 6 games perhaps, with biting my nails against Tampa and hoping that they can actually win a damn round. I promise my kids they'll see it in my lifetime. Hopefully in my lifetime.
Yeah, but your kids are young still. They got another 10 years or 20 years to win
My,
something.
my oldest is 15,
All
but
right, so you make the NHL at 18. He's got another 3 years. But here's the big news about the Maple Leafs. I don't know. I've just received tickets, playoffs tickets, and the price of beer, hot dogs, popcorn is going up 7% second round, 28% in the third round, and a bag of popcorn for the Stanley Cup will be $18.
I don't think I
Now,
have to worry about that because they ain't going to get there. But it doesn't surprise me. Maple Leafs charge a lot of money. We're all fools. We all pay it, and the product ends up not
I don't
winning.
pay it.
So
I don't pay it. Come on.
I
I don't
pay
care
it.
what you say. You pay it because you're a fool.
I am a
You're a
fool.
fool. And you know what? We just established part of my deal is to pay you here on the Fired Up Network. Now that you're paying garbage, I'm not paying you. You're coming on here to discuss stuff. Now you're here. But here, let's close out with this. Is this a good move for both the WWE and UFC? Can they flourish? And when you talk about WrestleMania, when you talk about 21.4 billion together, can we see next year 40 billion?
I'm not sure it'll jump that quickly, but I think it's a great move. I think the people that promote both of those, the UFC, WWE, the promoters themselves, it's not up to them. If they can promote this product as they have been promoting their products prior to the merger, I think this has the ability to take off.
All right, that's Alan Small. And tell them where they can find you on social media, and where's your show, and where can they hear you.
Yeah, you can listen to my online digital show every other Wednesday. Our next show is actually coming up this Wednesday, April 5th, 12 noon. Go to alansmall.com and you can click on and watch my show, a financial show. I'm also on the radio every other Sunday. This Sunday just passed. So 2 weeks this Sunday will be my next show on News Talk Radio, AM 1010. You can catch me there. Those are probably the best places to hear me speak. I'm also on TV every now and again, business news, CP24, other places like that. So if you ever want any financial advice or information, alansmall.com is the place to go.
And by the way, do you have some few shekels? I gotta buy some matzah. By the way, Hag Sameach on Wednesday. Happy Passover. That's Alan Small, Senior Advisor for the Fired Up Network. I just gave you a new title. I
I
need
like
you
it.
to represent Fired Up Network and make millions and billions of dollars like the WWE and UFC. Can you do that?
I will try.
I don't want trying. Try the Maple Leafs try. They failed for 19 years. Thanks a lot, Alan.
Hopefully better than the Leafs. How about that?
That's my good friend Alan Small, senior advisor. He does anything with money. Money rules the world, right? I had to have him on because that's a big acquisition today. The UFC parent company Endeavor buying the WWE for $9.3 billion. They're together going to be $21.4 million. They're going to merge it. Should be interesting to see what happens in sports entertainment over the next few weeks, months, and years here. And of course, WWE just coming off WrestleMania. Great event at SoFi Stadium over the weekend. Over 161,000 fans on both nights attended that great event. Now, as you know, tonight, the NCAA Final Four final goes at 9:20 p.m. And I had to bring him on. John Freeman Nelson, the Hall of Famer of OSG Sports. John, you can see him on here Fridays, the soccer show with myself, Giancarlo Lino, Carmen Asako. He does lacrosse with us. He does college football. He does soccer. He does baseball. He does everything. And I had to have him on here to talk about the preview of the NCAA tournament finals tonight. Here we go with John Freeman Nelson. Hey everybody, this is Joseph Pasek and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to a special NCAA tournament final with John Freeman Nelson. All right, John, I brought him in there because this guy does soccer. This guy knows hockey. This guy knows baseball. We were talking WrestleMania. He's very upset that Roman Reigns won.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm livid. Oh, brother, I'm livid about that.
I know, we the ones, all right? But I brought you on here to talk
Yeah,
about the
I
final.
could show you the finger for we the ones, no doubt about it. Yeah,
Now, which finger are you going to show me? That's the
not,
problem.
not, not
You
the
only
index. Mm-mm.
All right. So the final in the NCAA tournament. And John, I don't know about your bracket. Your bracket. I had. You want to see my bracket? I have this. I have this with UConn winning. Okay, I have it. San Diego.
I call
No,
shenanigan, but okay.
no, it's not shenanigans. I'm a big proponent of San Diego. Our studios was in San Diego. I live for going to San Diego. I never went, but I live for it and all that. And UConn, for me, always, I wasn't. All the number ones didn't make even the elite eight.
No,
That's number one. Now, number twos, I don't like being number two. All right, I like UConn for me. They're the fourth ranked seed, but in heart, always when you look at it, they're always in there. They're always in there. So it's UConn Huskies
yeah.
against San Diego. Go ahead.
I mean, you look at what happened in the semis, and UConn. I think Miami. Yeah, we all know about Jim Larinaga and what he can bring to the table in a postseason. We saw it at George Mason. We've seen it at the University of Coral Gables. You see, I can't refer to it by its actual name, considering that I have angst involving that particular school, considering where I went to school in Tallahassee.
Yep.
So you had UConn come out of the blocks, and I mean, honestly, the semifinal involving Miami and UConn looked like it was over at the half. But when you have a player that is as talented as Sonogo is, and Adama Sonogo as a junior in the semi, goes for 21 and 10. But I think it's easy to say that as Sonogo goes, so goes UConn. And I think that in this one, and I'll get into analysis in a second, but Sonogo and Hawkins were the only two players in the national semifinal that went for double figures. Everybody else, you only had four other players. Sorry, you had a couple of other players score off the bench. You had six other players score, but no one else was in double figures. And you can sit there and say, okay, but that's because of the balance of UConn or what have you. But I think that as Sonogo goes, so goes UConn. Their defense in the national semifinal held Miami to 32% from the field and 35% from 3 points. So get this. Miami was better shooting from three than they were from the field. They were 13 of 42 from 2 point. They were 7 of 20 from three. And so when you look at how things were on the rebounding edge, UConn out-rebounded Coral Gables 41-32. On the defensive end, 28 defensive rebounds to 18. So you've got to keep an eye on the glass if you're going up against UConn. And I think that, frankly, you saw what the defense meant for UConn in the one semifinal when they advanced. I mean, like I said, they were up by 13 at the half, and it was pretty much just even Steven on the way through. But then you look at what we've seen from San Diego State. And first off, I have to tip my hat to everybody at Florida Atlantic for a fantastic year. And we all know that everyone and their mother is going to come knocking on Dickie May's door, the head coach at Florida Atlantic down in Boca Raton, because of what he was able to do. But FAU's moving to the Atlantic. To the Americans. So will it be any different with them in their new conference finishing at 35-4? Great run by Florida Atlantic. They did fantastic work, and I'm probably going to end up trying to find my Florida Atlantic Final Four gear from Texas the first chance I get. But in this game, you look at what San Diego State did. San Diego State held Florida Atlantic, and I know I'm talking a lot of defense here. 9 of 22 from 3 from Florida Atlantic. In their route to get to the Final Four, Florida Atlantic was absolutely electric from the outside. 23 of 52 on the day, so 14 of 30 from inside the three-point arc, Florida Atlantic. They didn't quite get the numbers that they were looking for there. Rebounding in total, 35-34. Defensive rebounds, Florida Atlantic actually had a better defensive rebounding edge than San Diego State, but pounding the boards 12-8, that's what you got out of San Diego State. San Diego State had, once again, they had 6 different guys score 2 in double figures, and you're going to be looking at guys like Matt Bradley, the guard, the point guard for San Diego State. You're also going to be looking at Jaden Ledee, who came off the bench to help out to score in double figures as well in the semifinal. And you look at the 3-point for San Diego State in the semifinal, 9 of 18 from 3. And so I think that may come up big as well. They shot 44% from the floor. They were 16 of 39 from 2, 9 of 18 from 3. My gut tells me this, is that in this matchup, you'll see in this 3-guard setup, I think you're going to see UConn try to pack the paint and force San Diego State once again to see if they can continue their hot shooting from the outside. And, if you pack the paint with your height, you have a guy like Sanogo who can sit there and get you a double-double, then you're going to let San Diego State shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. Lamont Butler, of course, everybody knows about the shot at the buzzer and all that kind of stuff. I think that UConn is going to be happy letting San Diego State trying to shoot from outside and outside the arc. Keep them out of the paint. Nothing new. San Diego State won't be intimidated by that idea. And as Joe, as you and I know both, that is, if you're a shooter, you're going to keep shooting. You miss, best thing to do is just to keep shooting, and see what happens. So I think that the defense of San Diego State is going to pin Sanogo in. I think what they're going to try to do is make sure that everybody else gets theirs and Sanogo doesn't get his. We've seen San Diego State defensively be very, very stout in the regular season, in the conference play, and here in the postseason tournament. I've got to go with San Diego State here. I'll take the points first and foremost. It's a 7-point juice box margin, but I'll take San Diego State outright, obviously. I think that San Diego State's defense is going to pin Sanogo in. I don't think he's going to get the numbers that he's been getting in the tournament. He might get the rebound numbers. I don't think he gets the points. And I think that San Diego State shooting will get them to a national championship as a 5 seed.
I like that way, but I'm going, even though I said I like San Diego and all that, but like I said, my bracket has Connecticut. I think I said 76-72, so I think it's going to be a 4 or 5 point game. I'm going with Connecticut in this one. And both these guys, like Connecticut 4 seed, San Diego, it's Cinderella stories. And let's give it to Florida Atlantic, 9 seeded. They lose by a point.
Yeah.
By a point. Like
at a 3-pointer at the buzzer, too.
Yeah. It's remarkable. And this is what they say, March Madness, even though it's April. But this is March Madness personified. There you go. John, I got to say this. For people who don't know, you're like 60%. The president of provinces of Canada.
PPC, baby. Let me hear
it. 80 to 90%. You know this. Connecticut.
My bracket was blown after the first weekend. I was done.
Of course. I would have told you. Connecticut winning 4 or 5 points. But I do agree with the point spread. It's being 7. I take the other on the spread. But the winner of the game, in my opinion, will be Connecticut. And kudos. Great tournament this year.
My sister went to San Diego State. I have to go there.
RC, you're biased. You're biased, all right?
And analytical. I'm analytical and biased. A, always analytical. B, be biased. C closing. Always be closing. Always be closing. Always be champions.
And this is a great segue. Always be closing. So, John, tell everybody, how do they get a hold of you?
Easiest ways on the Twitters at OSG Nelson. Don't forget to download the OSG Sports app, available iOS and Android. Soccer Down Here app as well on Android. Go to Spreaker if you haven't downloaded the app already, and then do a search for Soccer Down Here. You get the programming that way on the Spreaker app. And there is book number 6 above me. Noble Strong Lessons in Destiny. We're chasing after book number 7, but book number 6, Noble Strong. Do an Amazon search, probably the easiest way to get a hold of it. Great book about a great family in a small town uniting under the envelope of high school football and what it means to a small town as a family was fighting after one of the toughest things you could ever face. So Noble Strong Lessons in Destiny, right there. Go to Amazon, search it out, and I might even sign it for you if you send it to me, and I'll send it back.
That's one of the best. John Freeman Nelson of OSG Sports. He says San Diego. He's going to be wrong like usual. It's going to be Connecticut in the NCAA tournament final. Thanks a lot, John.
Anytime, my friend.
That was John Freeman Nelson of OSG Sports previewing the NCAA tournament final that goes at 9:20 p.m. tonight. Great analysis by there. That's why he's the Hall of Famer of OSG Sports. Now, in case you were wondering, WrestleMania happened this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. The WWE Hall of Fame on Friday, NXT Stand and Deliver on Saturday. Tonight, Raw after Mania, and exclusive news here. WWE Monday Night Raw will go commercial free for the first hour tonight. Starts at 9 o'clock. Here is the returning Martina Barnett, Slam host, reviewing WrestleMania Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver, Night 1, Night 2, and at the end, we give you a prediction or preview of Raw. So check it out. Myself and Martina. This is Joseph Hasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to the WrestleMania 39 review. I wanted to get her on last week, but she was too busy raising up the ones. Yes, you're not going to raise up the ones now? All right. And that's Martina Barnett, the host of the Slam. Before we get to WrestleMania, Martina, the Hall of Fame, Stacy Keibler looked good, spoke well, very heartwarming with her kids and her husband, Tim White with his family there, and of course Andy Kaufman. But we got to talk about Rey Mysterio, Dominic, and Mummy. First of all, your mommy, your real mommy's there, but then you have another mommy. So how do you have two? Never mind. All right, walking out with a tear in his eye. So he was emotional seeing his father being inducted. But storyline. What did you think of the Hall of Fame, all in all?
I thought it was nice. I think it was well done. A lot of people were hoping for Batista and other people, but I think that's kind of rude to disrespect careers of the people who were being honored. It was nice to see Stacy Keibler, Muda. I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. Legendary feuds, a lot of them with Sting and, of course, Ray Machine. So I think it was a great class. I do think a lot of people were bothered by the fact that they made announcements later than usual, but that didn't really bother me because I'm not going to lie, before I watched the Takers last year was the first time that I actually watched the whole. So I thought it was great. I thought it was well done. And of course, Andy Kaufman too. I forgot about him.
All right, so then let's head over. If you're in LA, it started at 10 in the morning earlier, 9:50 in the morning. Stand and Deliver. I wasn't standing, but they delivered. I don't know if you watched it. What did you think?
Not gonna lie, I have not had a chance to watch it yet. It's been a lot of programming over the last. We had Stand and Deliver. We had pre-shows. We had this. We had that. I have delivered. But I did hear that Carmelo Hayes is the new champ and Indy Hartwell is the new champ. Most of them, I think they both have done a good job to earn it, but I have not watched the show yet.
All right, so Shawn Michaels, NXT now, he's the lead booker. He did a fantastic show, and by the way, the North American Championship with Wesley, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Axiom, Dragunov, really one of the best matches of the weekend, like you mentioned, Indy Hartwell, and I like how they did it all together because Dexter Lumis helped her climb up the ladder there, and of course, you talked about Carmelo Hayes beating Braun Breaker. Could we see Braun tonight? We'll talk about that later on our Raw preview here. But, okay, I know you're brought here for WrestleMania, all right? So let's look at a 2-night WrestleMania. I got to say this. Next year, okay, from Philadelphia, they got to pick a better host. The president of the provinces of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, the mayor running for Toronto is available next year. I think I could do a better job than The Miz, who wrestled twice, didn't get a punch in. All right? But, okay, what did you think of Snoop Dogg and The Miz on night one?
I thought they did a good job. My main I am tired of seeing The Miz always in like little weird little pithy squad. I actually like to see him have a real match. And I'm not gonna lie, the placement on my nerves. I thought it was kind of weird how before the Usos and Sami Zayn and had all these commercials, and they had The Miz have his little man, little Uzi Vert to come out. I'm like, oh my God, get to it. It's like you made us wait for so long to it. So I think they need to work on their placement and their timing. And I do understand they have to but I think the pacing was a little bit odd there.
And just a side note to that, I like how the WWE got new advertisers like TurboTax. Martina, you got to do your taxes, all right? What do you think FiredUp Network pays you? All right, TurboTax on the, I guess, the pole, the ring pole, and everything like that, and very nice touch. And of course, we had Pat McAfee coming out. We had San Francisco 49er tight end coming out, really fulfilling a dream there, and all that, George Kittle. So really good there. So, okay, let's get rid of that. Now, the opening match of WrestleMania, okay? John Cena, you can't see him, but he brought out all his Make-A-Wish kids and all that. And then Austin Theory, A-Town down, Austin Theory winning. I got to say this, and I'm saying this was the worst match of the weekend. I didn't like this match at all. You're telling me this? You could compare this match to Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre, or the ladies match, both ladies matches, or the Usos match? Like this one, even Brock Lesnar almost. It was a spectacle. I think not that they didn't wrestle good. I just think this was the worst match of the weekend.
I do agree with you there. I think Brock Lesnar versus Omos was the worst match.
I feel like you expect from Brock Lesnar match was 4 minutes. I said here it's going to be 5 minutes, but seeing Omos, seeing Brock Lesnar, seeing all this, it's a spectacle. John Cena coming out with Austin Theory. Did you really think John Cena will win when he's nowhere to be around? You can't see him, but only on WrestleMania.
I'm going to be entirely honest with you. I'm not really a Theory or a Cena fan. However, Cena, I say I'm a very principled person when it comes to my picks. I have said it once, I'll say it a million, to give the new people, the young people, a chance to shine. I was glad that says, listen, no one stays on top forever. You're going to have to pass the torch. You're going to have to let someone else come up. Glad that he won. I thought the match was fine. I thought it was in a good spot. I'm glad it was the opening match. We're going to get to it in a second, but I said Omos versus Lesnar, same exact principle. I feel like Lesnar, I don't think there's any reason why anyone over 40 plus should be beating people appropriate. I feel the same way about the women's match with Trish Stratus, Damage Control. I'm very principled. I think if you've had your time, you're in the Hall of Fame money, it's time to let somebody else win.
Well, I agree with that, but I just think it was a better spectacle Brock Lesnar and Almost, because both guys, Brock Lesnar looked like a midget compared to Almost, but who won the match? Brock Lesnar. Does that? So I'll spoil something. I think I told you this before. Brock Lesnar was offered a 5-match deal, and to sign a year contract. If I was told if he wins, that means he signed it. If he loses, that means he didn't. He won. I don't think he's retiring. I think they got plans for Brock Lesnar specifically because we'll talk about this. Some WWE getting sold to some company that Brock Lesnar knows about very well. So we'll talk about that later on. Okay, so night one, let's get to the second match. And this, I got to say this. The 8-person WrestleMania showcase or whatever, I didn't have high hopes going into this. But this match delivered. It delivered big time, from Braun Strowman jumping off the top rope, from Montez Ford. He reminds me of me, like mid-air, going. What are you laughing at? Like, you never have seen me in like. Don't I have an Austin Theory body? Come on, all right. So like, look. See, come on. Are you blind? All right. So like,
no. What is it like?
So what did you think of that WrestleMania showcase for the men?
I agree with you. I was a little like, the name wasn't doing it with a better name other than Wrestling Showcase. Like, I was like, what does that even mean? But I agree, liked it. I'm not gonna lie. I knew that the Street Profits were going to win for Braun and Ricochet because personally, I find them the most entertaining to watch. Small version of each other. They just entertain me. But I was glad that the Street Profits won. I was pleased with it. Performances. I don't think there was anyone in that match that looked, horrible. Except I liking Raiders need a little bit more zoom in their
well, that's Valhalla's job. Valhalla. How do you say that name 25 times? Valhalla. Even Titus O'Neil called her Sarah Logan. All right. So even Titus O'Neil there, right?
Yes.
By the way, Titus O'Neil was really great in that Gunter match. Really great. Somebody called 911 and all that. So we'll touch on that later on. But also, since we're mixing up WrestleMania Night 1, Night 2, let's look at the ladies' showcase. Ronda Rousey was not cleared for this match. She shows up for 4 seconds, gets the victory. What did you think of so much of the mystique of Ronda Rousey? I think it's a faded away now. Really, does anybody care about Ronda Rousey?
Unfortunately, no. And I say unfortunately because it's clear they want Ronda to be just like Brock, but they don't book her. I feel like there's a lot of issues. A lot of people don't like her performance. A lot of people don't like her personality. She let me down. Like, I like her. I want to root for her. I like her story because I'm a big that follows me on Twitter. I'm big on a story. We'll touch more on that later. But I'm really pleased to see her and Sonya win. I was not surprised, but I'm not gonna lie to you. That whole match just did not. I feel like they could have done more. Like, they should have put some of the younger talent over, as I said. As I say all the time. It was a little underwhelming.
In other words, I'll translate what you're just saying. WWE, venga ya, pone Raquel Rodriguez, dale su corpio, dale la title a Raquel Rodriguez. You know what I'm saying? Give Raquel Rodriguez the next Ronda Rousey shot. She's big. Everybody likes her. And there's a little bit of this Spanish LWO influence now in the WWE. You understand what I'm saying? You smell what I'm cooking. I don't want to say it in Spanish no more. We got to keep the audience here and all that. But seriously, Ronda Rousey, and looked like Shayna Baszler at the end of the match was limping a little bit or whatever. But who cares about Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey? Like, these, they had the opportunity. Ronda Rousey was a lady killer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And she's a beast, right? But they dropped the ball there. So let's talk, and I'm going to ask you this, okay? I dabble in wrestling. I'm in the ring. I do headlocks, suplexes, chops like Gunther. I taught him everything he knows. But if I'm a wrestler, I'm very concerned. You know what? Guys like Logan Paul, guys like Pat McAfee come and do a better job than what I've been doing for 20, 30 years. Well, I got to say this. Logan Paul doing the Shawn Michaels, zip line on his birthday and all that. And then KSI coming out in his power, what's his bottle, Logan Paul. They
Prime.
don't. Yeah, Prime. Thanks a lot. I said power. What I don't want to advertise till Logan Paul spent the money. And you know what? In order for him to spend the money, Logan Paul, I got your next challenger in a boxing, wrestling ring, and all that. The president of provinces of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, would like to challenge you for $15 million. All right. So that's my price. All right. But that match was Seth Rollins. And can we get Seth Rollins' song? Come on, Martina. We got to do a duet here. The Seth Rollins song. Everybody, yeah, that's right. Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, arguably probably top 3 or 4 matches of the weekend. No, I'm not saying.
I do
I'm
not
not
agree.
saying it was number 1, but I'm not saying it's at the end.
I will say this, but I've not been shocked with this version of Seth Rollins. I'm sorry. He came out looking like Lady Gaga and Shawn Michaels.
That's the point.
I'm not a fan. I just don't like it. It's too cartoonish and too gimmicky and carny for me. I'm not a fan. His talent as a wrestler is incredible, but this I'm not a fan. I was actually rooting for Logan Paul, which really honestly bothers me because I don't like Logan Paul as a person, but kind of the reverse. I don't like him as a person, but as a wrestler, you got to give credit where it's due. He did great. I think he did a great job, especially to the amount of time. That I'm like, regrettably, I was rooting for Logan, and I know a lot disagree with that, and that's fine. You're entitled to that. But like I said, to me, this version of Seth Rollins, he wears his fashion. I always joke on Twitter that he looks like Nova Man, and his attire is just not. It's not doing it for me.
You're just because you don't flow with the song of Seth Rollins, all right? You don't flow. You don't like. But I got news for you. I'll spoil this. Backlash, May 6th, Puerto Rico. You like how I roll the R's, all right? Puerto Rico with Bad Bunny. We'll talk on Bad Bunny in just a few seconds, all right? It's going to be, from what I hear, it may be a 3-way involving Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and Seth freaking Rollins. That's what I hear. Yes.
Boo, hate it.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go. Thank you. You hear Mariah and they're booing.
Yes.
The reason why, I'm sorry, again, I'm sorry, I just have to say, why is Seth Rollins going to get a chance over Jay? Why does Jay Uso keep down? What more does this man have to do? How much harder does he have to work?
Jay, I don't know if you know this. We'll talk about it later. But he lost at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins won. All right. So let's get to the 6 ladies tag match where we get Becky Lynch, Lita, and my good close personal friend, one of my favorite Greeks, Trish Stratus, up against Damage Control, Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai. Your thoughts there? I thought Trish really stole the show. Lita was good. They beat up Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, for me, didn't really do anything in that match.
I agree. I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry. Again, the only women's matches for me in liver this weekend was Rhea and Charlotte and Bianca and Asuka. Those other 2 matches, I'm sorry for me. I was rooting for Damage Control because I feel like they deserve a chance. I don't think Hall of Famers should be having titles, male or female. In that, I understand that they have to get ratings. They bring in big names to get viewers and ratings. I totally understand that. But from a principle standpoint, how is it benefiting them other than a paycheck? Like, they've already made their careers. They've already made their name. Like, give the new girls a chance to shine, because Damage Control has been floundering so bad. Help them more. They needed that win more than Becky and Lita. They real weak, you know, and I just don't see how is that benefiting them for them to lose.
In other words, you want somebody to control the damage, break up that group, and that's it. Bailey, to her, defense, shouldn't be in a group. Bailey's
Right.
with Charlotte, Mercedes Moné. I gotta say that, right? And Becky also. So that was that match. Now we gotta go to Dominic versus Rey Mysterio. How Rey Mysterio, first of all, how Dominic comes out in that car with cops, and he was a convict, condom, right? Try to say that seriously, condom. All right, so Dominic coming out, and then Rey Mysterio coming out to the lowrider driven by Snoop Dogg. That was classic. On how he came out with his mask. By the way, that's a tribute. The mask, because usually he doesn't have that type of mask, but that's a tribute to Great Muta. He came like Eddie Guerrero, then he came to his regular song, and I like how Damian Priest, Finn Balor came out. They brought the LWO out, Legado de Fantasma, and then Bad Bunny causing, and he's secretly, I already told you the spoilers, so I'm going to tell you a spoiler. Bad Bunny will be inducted into the LWO. Get a shirt tonight, all right? By the way, Ray, I need a shirt also. I'm Spanish, man. Come on. All right, go ahead.
I like now I writing this, like you said, convict Dom line. They
No, don't say convict Dom. It's condom. It's not convict Dom. There's no con or vic or Dom.
I am not saying that. Convict, inmate Dom, whatever you want to call him coming out. My mom was, and I was watching with my family and friends, and mom like he's Hannibal Lecter. Like the way that they had police escorts and they are riding this to the wheels fall off. And I do think it, for him as like his WrestleMania entrance, but his character, I've not been trying saying I do not like it. I was really glad that Ray got his licks in, because Dom has been doing so, and I really liked Ray's interest. I thought it was nice. I was like, okay, Ray, I see you. The lowrider and stuff. I thought it was well done. Of course, he had to win. He was he got inducted into the Hall of Glad. I think it was well done, and I'm really proud of Ray because he's worked hard. He's earned it.
And we can't forget Ray brought his family in there. Nice touch with his wife, condom. I'm not going to say Vic. All right. Break it.
Convict Dom.
Yeah. Convict, whatever. Spitting, water on his sister and all that. And they brought Ray with the whole family, the sister and the LWO and Bad Bunny and everything like that. Really nice touch there, how they did it and everything like that. So now we're going to go to the two ladies title matches. And boy, oh boy, first of all, let's go with Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. I want everybody, male or female, to look at that match. That was not one. That was probably the best females match in a long time, maybe ever. All right. And I don't care. I don't want to say female. That was one of the best matches in WrestleMania history. Top 20 match. Top 20 match in WrestleMania history. And Charlotte, the only way they could have done better, in my opinion, Charlotte stayed and sitting outside the ring. If Charlotte came and sort of passed the torch, shook Rhea's hand. That's what I'm saying. What do you think?
I completely agree with you. That was something that kind of bothered me too, because she ended it like a heel. She's supposed to be the face. I felt like she shook her hand and whatnot as well. It was a fantastic match. I completely agree. I think it was great because I don't know. I'm not. I don't WrestleMania. The only matches that I cared about was Roman, Cody, and Bianca Asuka, and literally did not care about the other matches. But this one,
You
it
didn't care about the
made me care.
Usos?
No, you did. Bianca Asuka and Usos and Sami Zayn. Those are the only 3 matches I cared about. So it did get my attention because honestly, I'm just sitting here like, all right, when are the Usos coming out? Pay attention. And it's not because I don't like them, because I do. It's because honestly, a season, the build up to the women's matches was not good. I don't feel like they did a good job to get you invested. So I was kind of indifferent. I did put Rhea over. I felt like it was the right move. I like that. However, I am really interested in how this is going to go in Judgment Day now that she has a title and the guys do not. Little power dynamics go there.
Listen, you always have to obey your mommy, all right? You always have to obey your mommy.
I think
okay?
that's the takeaway, right?
That's right. Okay, and now let's look at the night 2 with Bianca Belair and Asuka. By the way, an amazing touch, and Triple H talked about this in the press conference, bringing in the ladies there, or the little girls there, and the contortionist, her mom dying that morning. And still, okay, where's your daughter? Where's your daughter? Is she around there?
She's over there. We watched it together.
All right, bring your daughter. Let's give her some airtime. Let's give her some airtime. Okay, like look,
right
yeah, that's
now. She's doing something right now.
So,
but
so
I
here
will
it is.
Say, I was just gonna say. Sorry, I'm sorry. You go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's unbelievable that girl, maybe 6 years old, maybe 7, 81,000 people there, could have said, my mom, like, and she killed it. She killed it. And to the credit of Bianca, was really, really, like, the WWE, like, let's face it, it's fake, it's this, it's that. There's nobody in this world that puts on I don't care, sports, entertainment, whatever, who puts on a better show and gets more, and you hear it all the time from Vince, Triple H, put smiles on people's faces. Put smiles on people's faces other than the WWE. Sure, you have Logan Paul there and Pat McAfee and all that, but bringing in a girl 8 years old, 6 years old, whose mother just passed away, and still doing the job. And for that matter, like, let's face it here, I know I'm going on a tangent, but I forgot to mention this. They brought Shane McMahon in, and Shane McMahon did a leapfrog and tore I think his knee up, or tore ligaments and all that.
ACL.
ACL, thank you, ACL. And then Snoop Dogg, without hesitation, nobody talked him. Okay, I'm gonna beat the Miz. Gave a weak punch, honestly. Gave the people's elbow really weak because he jumped up more before he hit the elbow, right? But again, if you're a wrestler who's trained 20 years, there's a little bit of panic going in. What happened? And we'll touch on Edge, Finn Balor, because something else happened there. But honestly, with Bianca and Asuka, especially for me, after I found out that the little girl's mom, that was the highlight of WrestleMania. Put it that way. Go ahead.
I completely agree with you. As I was watching, because I had her saying, like, I've got something, like, if you think last year my entrance was great, I've got something planned for this. I knew she was going to show out, and I love Bianca. And watching the entrance, like, with my family and with my daughter, like, I was like, oh my God, this is everything. Like, people do not understand, like, as watching wrestling growing up, it was only, I could only dream of seeing other girls dancing in a wholesome way, for such a great purpose at WrestleMania. I was like, Mariah, come here and say this. That was so amazing. Like, representation. Those little girls killed it. Bianca did such a good job. It set the tone. Found out at the press conference that's what happened with that little girl. I'm like, I'm praying for that little sir. The fact that she was able to do that on the worst day of her life wouldn't have been able to do that. So I surely hope, my prayer is that they do right by that little girl. But I don't know if they're going to raise money for her, free tickets for life, whatever. I hope they do. And my prayers out to her family. I don't even know her name, but those little girls did such a good job. Some of my former followers, because some people have been muted and blocked and delete. Oh, it wasn't good, and it could have been this, it could have been that. I'm like, no, it was great. Okay, sometimes let other people speak. You know, it's not all, everything isn't for everybody. Sometimes it is. For that night, it was the Divas of Compton is the name of the group. The Divas of Compton. It was a job, and especially Bianca having a little girl herself. I don't know how old her daughter is, but I know that must have been. Seeing your mom do that and win was incredible. Had it been.
It was amazing. It was like, honestly, not, and Triple H, to his credit, on the press con, he was tearing up. He was tearing up. Triple H, you know, he has kids and all girls with Steph, right? So it's really, really good. The match delivered also. Bianca Belair is, honestly, for a lady, and I don't want to say lady into it, but I'm going to say it. She may be the strongest lady wrestler there is. I don't care about Ronda Rousey or whatever, but the future is bright with Bianca leading the charge on Raw and Rhea leading the charge on SmackDown. It makes you want to see a Rhea Bianca match, and it definitely makes me want to see Rhea put down Ronda Rousey, and for that matter, Bianca put it down Ronda Rousey.
I agree with you. Some people are gonna be like, no, but I would like to see Bianca be the undisputed champion one day. She deserves it. Now, I know she's not gonna have an almost 1,000-day reign like Roman, but she deserves it. A lot of people forget Roman Reigns is not the first undisputed champion. Chris Jericho was an undisputed champion. Becky Lynch was an undisputed champion. Triple H was an undisputed champion. It's been several others. Like he's not the first. People act like it's a revolutionary idea for someone to keep 2 belts. So I'm like, I think it's only fitting at some point that Bianca be an undisputed champion as well.
I agree with you there. I wholeheartedly. So let's get to night 1 main event. I'm gonna put this. I know you're a big fan of the Usos. Put up the ones, all right? Put up the ones, because I gotta put up. Now put down the ones. You're talking about the president of the provinces of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, the mayor of running for Toronto, up against 2 Canadian dudes. Yes, Montreal, Ferme la Vive, and Bonsoir, and all this. Okay, I speak French also, all right? Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, winning it. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, crying at the end of the boat. And if you've seen social media, Sami Zayn's wife there, they went over and hugged Sami Zayn's wife. Kevin hugged her. He was crying and all that. But the best thing in that match was great. The best thing was Kevin Owens on the press conference afterwards. He said, yeah, the Usos are unbelievable. They're the best tag team, and they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mark and Jay Briscoe. One of the Briscoe brothers passing away last month. Kevin Owens just proved that Canadians are the most classiest guys in the world. Sami Zayn, in all honesty, I know you like Roman Reigns, but I think the WWE missed an opportunity giving him the belt in his hometown, missed an opportunity of Cody Rhodes winning, and will not miss an opportunity because I have spoken to the tribal chief. Me and him have broke bread, and thanks to the wise man, Paul Heyman, and everything like that, all right? I don't know if you know this. Me, Goldberg, wise man, okay? MJF, we sat down, and I told everybody that MJF had a rebar mitzvah. Now he needs a recircumcision. I needs a recircumcision, and Goldberg wants to do it. Goldberg is a little bit slight with hand, so they elected me, and I don't want to touch anything. Okay, so but sooner or later, who MJF is going to get the keys to the city on Wednesday on Dynamite from his hometown. He's going to have a recircumcision. That's breaking news only on the Fired Up Network. All right, let's get to the main event there. Honestly, Kevin Owens.
No, you can't just skip over that. No, sir. I have been very, very vocal in host Martina. I don't like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I don't like him then. I don't like him
Why?
now.
Because you don't like Canadians, eh? You don't like Canadians, eh?
It has nothing to do with where they are from. I don't like them at their characters as wrestlers. I don't like them. Deserve to win. Hated it. I did not like that finish. Now, don't get me wrong. It was a good match. I think it was well done. I just don't think that they have done anything to deserve it.
Hold on,
because this is my perspective. Let me tell you why. This is why. The fact that they ended the Usos' legendary undisputed tag team chance. They have had an epic run. They ended their for Sami and Kevin to hold them for a few months, and they're obviously going to break up. A consolation prize, like you ended a legendary run for that. I just think that's kind of trifling. Like, here, take them. Here, take the belts. Like, they didn't need to win the belts. I didn't like that. And I don't like them. I still don't like Sami. I still feel like
you don't like Sami because
it's just really fun.
You don't like Sheamus. All right, redhead. You don't like redhead.
I didn't say I like Sheamus. No, I didn't say that. I like Sheamus. I didn't say that.
I said that's the same reason why you don't like Sheamus, all right? But anyways, by the way, I got news for you. You said Kevin and Sami are going to hold the title a couple months.
They're obviously going to break up. Kevin doesn't like him. They bonded over their tonight.
They're going to lose it tonight.
Their friendship.
They're going to lose it tonight.
Like, see? Why do it? Like, that's you prove my case even more. Like, come on, man. I don't think that's right.
80,000 people on night one watched WrestleMania again. WrestleMania proving that they're, like they always say, they're a global sensation, global phenom there. All right, let's get to the matches we didn't talk about in night two. Only 3 of them here. Let's get to Finn Balor up against Edge. A Hell in a Cell. Finn Balor looked like he was concussed when Edge threw a ladder right at him. And kudos to the WWE, kudos to Edge because they focused to Edge getting more stuff and all that. Because with Shane McMahon going down and they sort of had to change on the fly that match, would have been, who are they going to put Edge to go against Finn Balor because nobody was there. So kudos to Finn Balor for going, because I know he had a concussion or he was bleeding or whatever. And again, Edge picking up the victory. By the way, Martina, Edge Canadian.
I know Edge is Canadian. You Canadians were running roughshod over WrestleMania. I'm sorry this match either. I feel like once again, I'm telling you, if I'm nothing else, I'm Edge again. Hall of Famers should not be put, winning over younger talent. Finn Balor is in his 40s as well. Fair enough. But I just feel like Demon Finn is time to shine like he should. I feel like Finn Balor needed that win more than Edge. But again, I know with the Judgment Day story, like I understand he had to avenge what's her name, Beth, getting the concerto. Like I understand why they did it. It's because there's two want and what you understand, what you know they're going to do from a logical standpoint, but versus what you want in your heart. In my heart, I wanted Demon Finn Balor to win, but I understand, if that makes sense.
I don't care. A Canadian won. Who cares? Canadians winning. All right. We are winners. We are winners. They should have brought somebody in there to sing "Oh Canada." They should have brought. Now, I got to tell, this was, for me, this match was the best match of the weekend. All right. We're going to, and I'm sorry, Martina, I got to say it, okay? I'm sorry. This was a banger after banger after banger after banger after, I'm hurting my hand, after banger after, I'm hurting my hand, all right? Sheamus.
I'm doing this.
So, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and listen, nobody does this better. Gunther! Yes. And Imperium, what's Imperium? Anyways, this, if you want to talk about, listen to this. chops, 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 chops. The chest on Sheamus, the chest on Drew McIntyre, Gunther. God, this made the Intercontinental title relevant again, back to Savage and Steamboat. This is what Triple H is, an old school booker. Old school booker wants wrestling. Yes, you're going to get a little bit of sports entertainment, but this is WrestleMania, the granddaddy of them all. You want wrestling? You got wrestling. You had a showcase. You had a women's showcase. You had Edge, Finn Balor, Steel Cage, good match. We'll touch on the last match, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, but this match was awesome. Sorry, Miz. Go ahead.
It was great. From a rest. Okay, so I understand what you mean, like sports entertainment versus wrestling. But from a pure wrestling standpoint, yes, it was a physical, like it was physical versus big dude versus bigger dude. I do think it was great. I think that they win this match and some of the others is physically these three men were very well matched together. Physically imposing. They're all heavy hitters. They're all jacked. I think it was great. I honestly, it was so many near falls. I was like, ooh, every time you're like, oh my God, the 2.9. But honestly, I think they made the right decision in having Gunther retain. I do like Sheamus. I do like Drew McIntyre. This is the only, I would say this is what I was not extremely emotionally tied to any one of the opponents, them winning, but as that is going into it, because that's something I'll touch on later. We'll circle back around to this. Preconceived notions going into it versus the opinions you form as the match goes on. And I was like, okay, they want Gunther to retain. I could just tell. I was like, okay, I see what they're doing. I liked it. It was a great match.
All right, and what made this was Titus O'Neil. Someone called 911. Someone really, the commentators were really good in this match. All right, it's time for the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania. What WrestleMania goes to Hollywood. It was billed. Can he fulfill the dream? Can he finish the story? Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. At the beginning of the match, Cody Rhodes going over, kissing his wife. His daughter looks amazing, and giving the belt to Brody Lee's son. Really nice touch there, and everything like that. The match 35 minutes long. Right when Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens come out, do the number on the Usos. Sami doing the huluva kick on Roman Reigns, the stunner and all that. You thought that's how he's going to win. It could have been a great end of the story. Could have.
No.
But Solo Sikoa, that. All right, I'm not going to say it. Like, Solo Sikoa, you made me so mad that maybe I want to challenge you, but my good friend, the wise man, told me to go against that because, I'm the president. There will be no president if I go up against Solo Sikoa. So, all in all, the match was good. Roman Reigns. And with all due honesty, they are making something special with Roman Reigns. I don't think he should lose it at Backlash, at whatever, King and Queen of the Ring, at SummerSlam. I think they should go till next year, WrestleMania 40, and have him. No, seriously.
Oh God, be careful. The Twitter people are going to be at your throat. Okay.
I'm the president of the province of Canada. You think I got almost here? I got Brock Lesnar here. Brock Lesnar is officially Canadian. He lives in Saskatchewan. He's officially Canadian.
Okay.
All right? But here's the truth. It's WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. And I'll touch on something else about WrestleMania 40 that nobody else has talked about it to date. WrestleMania 40th, 40-year anniversary of WrestleMania. What better way of having the number one ever champion in the world come and defend it against The Rock? Rocky, Philadelphia, book it, bank it, everything. WrestleMania 40, The Rock, the biggest star ever to come out of the WWE. I know Stone Cold, I know Hogan or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? The Rock,
you're right. He's the biggest.
His cousin, WrestleMania 40 against the greatest champion. Book it, bank it, and I'll say it right now. The reason why they did not give a date, because in April, in Philadelphia, like Toronto, it may be snowing. So they may want to change the date from early April to mid or end of April. That's something
All
going.
right,
But
maybe they will.
and
Here,
and if
let me
I'm
give you my thoughts.
go
Let me
ahead, go ahead.
just say that it was here on the Fired Up Network that I back in like August, September. I said that this is when people were like, no, it's too soon. They're not gonna do it. I knew it was gonna come to this. Like be The Rock versus Roman. I was like, no, y'all, it's good. Did I not, Joe? Did I not say Roman?
And hold on, my only question: if you're going to promote yourself, promote why you haven't been on here. If you give some hot takes like this, you should be on here every week.
You're right. You're absolutely. Let me just say though, I said that, and so here's what I will say, because I remember you want in your heart versus what you see as the match progresses. Going into this, of course, I'm a huge Roman fan. I always have been, always will be. However, doing promo and like when he comes out, like you said, he's greeting Brandy and Libby. He's like, okay, and let me back up. Last night when they had the Usos to lose, I tweeted, I was like, okay, so Roman is losing. I definitely thought he was going to lose after the Usos lost, and then further, he comes out greeting his family. I was like, okay, Cody is definitely winning. They got me. You know that. I mean, the first half, I'm not going to lie, I definitely thought that Cody was going to be winning based off of her. What you said, this is something that I don't know why no one is pointing this out about the fact I'm calling them on Twitter. I've been calling them, follow me on Twitter at @SlamHostMark, them Snickers and Ginger, because we know Sami Zayn is Ginger and at the press eating Snickers. So I've been calling them Snickers and Ginger. When they came out to help Cody, that because it seemed to me like they want Cody to win. They do like him. He is going to win. But that was when I knew he was going to lose. Win clean, or as I've since, because I've had a lot of time to think about this, to be someone betraying Roman. When I say someone, I mean either Jay or Solo is going to ultimately cause him to lose. But they're not going to be doing it to help Cody. They're going to be to spite Roman, to complete the bloodline story.
Be on the Fired Up Network each and every week, because I forgot to mention one other thing about Philadelphia. Can you start off when say what you said? Someone betraying. What did you say? Can you repeat that?
I said it's going to have to be a member of the bloodline who betrays Roman, either Jay or Solo.
So here it is. I'm giving you a spoiler a year in advance. So you talk about you saying something in September. I'm going a year in advance. So here it is. WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. The greatest champion ever. No, not myself. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns goes into it, takes on his cousin, The Rock. Okay? He's part of the bloodline. The bloodline, just listen. It's in Philadelphia. The Rock, Philadelphia Rocky, and all that. It's in Philadelphia where the wise man is known the most for ECW. So, who betrays Roman Reigns? It's his cousin and the guy he trusts the most, wise man. So the wise man builds the champion of all champions, but comes back home in Philadelphia where he's known as the real wise man for ECW, and betrays the champion to give the belt to the champion of all champions, who's sports entertainer of the ever, who made WWE.
Of the ever.
Of the ever, yes. Now, book it, bank it, do whatever. If I had $1, I'd be a millionaire. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Take this footage, and see how great looking I am from a year from now. All right. But that was WrestleMania night 1, night 2. Now, another highlight is the Raw, which is tonight, after WrestleMania. All right. It's in that crypto.com arena. I know, Martina, you have a lot of crypto, eh? You have a lot of crypto and all that. You became a millionaire from the crypto. Now, here's the spoilers. Here are the spoilers. If you do not want to hear the spoilers, I'll bid you adieu. Martina, before we say anything, tell everybody how they could get a hold of you, since I'm going to give the spoilers. Go ahead. Tell them.
Yes, Twitter at Slam Host Martina. I am on Instagram and TikTok as the same. Tweet pretty much all WWE events. I am all going on. I do watch AEW some, but as of late, I've been focusing much more on follow me. And yes, in just a few hours, because I see it's almost 3:30, I will be watching Twitter later.
All right.
See my Monday shirt?
So here is a small Raw preview. Triple H will open up the show with an announcement. Now, I don't know what the announcement is, but I'm going to tell you that Triple H and Roman Reigns will have a stare down, a face off in the show. Book it, bank it, whatever you want to. Candice LeRae will take on Raquel Rodriguez. Sorry?
You said Triple H and Roman Reigns?
Yes. Triple H and Roman Reigns will have a stare down. Candice LeRae, Raquel Rodriguez, Io Sky, triple threat #1 contenders match. A-Town Down. Austin Theory versus Rey Mysterio. Now, I'm the only one who could say this. President of Province of Canada, Mayor-elect of North America, and Latino. Bad Bunny will be joining the LWO, and Judgment Day will be involved in this match. Bad Bunny will be joining the LWO. Now, Bronson Reed, the Tsunami, will take on, and Bobby Lashley will start their feud. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa will challenge Cody Rhodes and a partner of Cody Rhodes' choosing. Cody Rhodes, during Raw, you're going to see throughout, is going to make phone calls. Some people think that it's going to be woo Matt Cardona. Maybe, formerly Zack Ryder. Some people think that it's going to be a former NXT champion, aka losing the title this weekend, Braun Breaker. Maybe. Some people would say it could be somebody else. Matt Riddle's due on Raw tonight. Also, Cameron Grimes is due to come out on the main roster. But if you think about it, Martina, Cody Rhodes has some history with some guy who hasn't been around in a little bit. Who's that?
Jay White.
No, not Jay White. Although that's another rumor. That's another rumor that is going around. The person, from what I believe, is going to be
Randy
Martina,
Orton.
Just put your ear here. I didn't hear that part. Put your ear here. I'm hearing.
It's going to be Randy Orton, isn't it?
You're hearing voices in your head. I'm not saying it's going to be him. Okay? I'm not saying it's going to be him. But I have heard Matt Cardona, Randy Orton, Jay White, and all that. So that's it. And of course, the main event will be the Canadian Connection. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn defending the undisputed tag team titles versus the Street Profits. They're going to get the smoke tonight. Ooh,
I hope they win. Please, let's go Street Profits. Ooh, let's go Street Profits.
All right. That's
go.
That's now the card. They're going to start building for the next Premier Live event. I said this, Martina. It's not a pay-per-view. It's a Premier Live event.
Premium Live event.
Yes. and May 6th for Puerto Rico, and Bad Bunny gonna host it, and Bad Bunny is probably gonna be involved with the Miz at Backlash there. All right, Martina. All in all, what do you rate WrestleMania?
I'd say it was a 10 out of 10. I think it delivered just like you were
It cannot be
saying
a 10
earlier.
out of 10. It cannot be you know how it would be a 10 out of 10? If the president of the provinces of Canada would have been there and smacked the taste out of Gunther. That's right. All right,
Okay.
Martina.
It exceeded my expectations
Yes.
in terms
9.9
of,
out
like
of
you
10.
said, the crowd, the stadium, that stage. I don't care what anyone says, but anyone who looks at that production and visual and audio and lights and says it was incredible. They did an amazing job. The stage, the ramp, everything was very, very. That is one thing I do agree with you that I can never take away from WWE on. And honestly, why as a child I actually wanted to work for WWE, not as a wrestler. I wanted to be like, because I have always been in awe. Like you said, they bring a smile to your face. It's like Disney to me, but way better than Disney in my personal opinion, because it's an integral part of your childhood when you watch wrestling growing up, and even as a grown adult, you're like, wow. This I said this on Twitter. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I thought I heard you say that WrestleMania next year in Philadelphia. Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Thank you. Also, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Did you just? Yes, but only. Here it is. When Vincent Kennedy McMahon, by the way, his mustache looks like a real dictator now. All right, so when Vincent Kennedy McMahon comes to me and sells the WWE for $9.3 billion to Endeavor, the people who own the UFC, now UFC and WWE are going to make a conglomerate worth over $21.4 billion. Vince McMahon gives me 100,000 to a million. I will take you to every WrestleMania from WrestleMania 40 to 41. All right? That's my promise. All right? That dictator,
Y'all hear that right?
Kennedy McMahon. Hold on. I'm calling him out. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, that dictator, shave that mustache. You remind me of some guys who dictate. You no wonder Gunther is around here and never loses the Intercontinental title. Now the next thing, I'm gonna go on a limb. Gunther is gonna grow a little bit of a mustache. Okay? Vince McMahon selling the WWE to Endeavor, the people who own the UFC, for $9.3 billion. Like Austin Myers, eh?
Billion with a B.
Yeah, B, and he bought it from his father for 1 million. Now 1 million, selling it for getting it for 9.3, and he's still going to be involved. He's still the president. Vince McMahon should look up to the sky and thank whoever God is on his side. All right, put it that way. I can't get $1. This guy gets 9.3 billion, and everybody accuses him. Dictator. By the way, Vince, if me and you want to be friends, you could throw some shekels, some American dollarishkas, some yen, some pound. What other currency is there? You're worldwide, all right? You're worldwide. But anyways, Martina, it was great to have you back again. Tell everybody how they could get a hold of you, and that's WrestleMania recap plus Raw preview. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for having me to be on Fired Up Network here. I always have a lot of opinions. I'm very opinionated. I do always have an opinion. You can follow me at Slam Host Martina on Twitter, on Instagram. Follow me, engage with me. I love to hear new perspectives. So yeah, come find soon.
The wise man has just texted me and watching this show right now and says, have Martina acknowledge me. So Martina, as we close out this segment, acknowledge, or Charlotte, you're in Charlotte. Charlotte, North Carolina, acknowledge me.
I acknowledge you, my king. I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. Head the big dog, the Big Oos. I acknowledge him. I acknowledge Roman. I've always acknowledged Roman.
I said, forget about Roman. I said acknowledge me, not Roman. Thanks a lot, Martina.
I acknowledge you as the president of the provinces of Canada. You got it. I can remember right now.
The president of the provinces of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, soon to run for the mayor of Toronto. Thank you, Martina. That was Martina Barnett back here on the Fired Up Network with a WrestleMania Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 review, and a Raw preview. Stay tuned for more great programming here on the Fired Up Network. And remember, Raw tonight, Raw after WrestleMania. Expect big things happening at 8 p.m. tonight. Also, the NCAA final happens 9:20 p.m. 9:20 p.m. And in case you missed the big news, earth-shattering news, WWE and the parent company of the UFC, Endeavor, have formed a partnership. The Endeavor UFC parent company bought the WWE for $9.3 billion. They're going to be together for $21.4 billion. Business is about to pick up. By the way, if I get 21.4 billion, a lot of euros coming my way. Anthony K gonna spend some money. That cheapskate Anthony K. If he's more sports fluent, he's got to, come on, Souvlaki and all that. Get some grief. And by the way, I tried to get Drew Ebanks on here. For the NCAA final preview, but he says he was too busy combing his afro. Shame on you, Drew Ebanks. Shame on you. Combing your afro. By the way, it's not his hair. He has nose hair. He's combing his nose hair afros. Yes. Stay tuned for more great programming here on the Fired Up Network.